Welcome to the Geek 101 podcast, Mandalorian Recap Episode 3. I'm Ariel Rada.
And I'm Andy Bowman.
All right, we are doing our first solo episode of our Mandalorian recaps. There will be 5 more Mandalorian recap episodes after this one. This one covers Chapter 3, The Sin. Andy, what were your thoughts on this episode of Disney Plus, Mandalorian?
Wait, why would there only be 5 more?
I thought there's 8 episodes total.
No, it's 10.
Is it 10?
Yeah.
My mistake. So there will be however many more. 7
8.
more. 8 more. Whatever.
Yeah, 8 more after this.
Yeah. But yes, Andy, what were your thoughts on episode 3, chapter 3, The Sin?
Okay. Well, Ariel, you know I've been watching a lot of CW shows lately.
Oh, yes,
catching
indeed.
up for our beautiful Crisis on Infinite Earths episodes, and those are 40 minutes long as well.
Okay.
This was so much faster and so much more fun than any episode I've seen lately.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't feel like 40 minutes.
No, not at all.
So I mentioned this off air just a second ago. My favorite thing in any piece of entertainment, anything I read, anything I watch, whatever, is expansion of lore. I love like mythology and tradition and lore in terms of like fiction, and they have a little bit in every episode, right, thus far, but like this one was a big, like, we're expanding the world and showing you more of the world while also like moving forward the plot and still having a good a good show. Any other thoughts you have on this episode?
First of all, you were right that there are only going to be 8 episodes. I don't know where I pulled 10 out of, but
okay.
So your math was right. Second of all, yeah, the Mandalorian like lore was really cool to kind of get the some actual interactions from the other Mandalorians that aren't the blacksmith.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, the little bit about, well, this is, these were taken from the Empire, and the Empire took it from us. So you didn't really, like, it was kind of implied, like, you got it back, great, but also this should be ours anyway.
That was, to me, that was strange.
Yeah, and it felt like it was being set up for him to have a rift later on in the episode, but that doesn't actually come through, particularly when the Mandalorians save everybody.
So here's a theory. They are upset that he made a deal with the Empire to get the Beskar back, right?
Okay, right.
They go to save him because he is basically reneging on that deal. And so the honor to the Mandalorians is more important than an honor to the guild and to the bounty, right? Because now this is not you made a deal for the Beskar. Now it's you're stealing the Beskar. You are taking what is rightfully ours back by force, the way we should.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, it's out of my butt, right? Like, but still,
Yeah, I will say, having all the Mandalorians descend was so cool.
Yeah, and it's a little annoying because it's like every single Mandalorian in that scene has already done more than Boba Fett.
Yeah, you're right. Because Boba Fett really only just grabbed Han Solo and went.
Yeah. So dumb.
But I also really appreciated how heavy all the Mandalorians felt. Right?
Yes.
You can tell that their armor, these guys are heavies. They are not, like, the armor is, the Beskar steel is amazing, but it does come with a price that you are slow. You can't change your momentum very quickly.
Right, but then it's okay because their armor is... Like, you could straight up take blaster shots.
Yeah. So that was really cool. I really appreciated also Mando getting a full, like, his full armor set. That was beautiful.
It was so nice.
Looks so cool.
Yeah. I'm glad they did it right away and it wasn't some, like, No, I think the journey piece by piece would have been cool, but it is really nice.
Yeah. What did you think about Werner Herzog's one line where he says, like, it's harder to find a Mandalorian than the steel? I was trying to parse out what he meant by that, and I thought what he was saying is, I'm giving you so much because I have a lot of it, and I can't find people to take it.
No, I think they have, because remember what the Jon Favreau Mandalorian, I believe he's voicing him, is saying, the Empire hunted the Mandalorians. That's why they have the Beskar. Okay. And that's why he makes that comment about there's not many Mandalorians around. Sorry, we killed them,
Okay. Yeah, just really, like, it's that we get a few little glimpses of of Mando's past, which I love that Carl Weathers called him Mando.
Yeah, that's not his name, but it's like we're like struggling, so we're just gonna keep calling him Mando.
Yeah, which shouldn't it be Manda? Like,
yeah, but there's also like the like masculine, feminine versions of words and stuff like that. So who knows?
Yeah. But I really liked the interactions he had with the guild and kind of establishing that he is breaking all these rules. Mm-hmm. I liked how much of a jerk Carl Weathers was. Like, he is like an actual bounty hunter. We have these things. They're gray. We sometimes don't like how our jobs go, but just take a vacation.
So there's a little discrepancy here. Basically, he says everyone had a tag for this bounty. But the setting with which, the Mandalorian gets Baby Yoda isn't some crazy, absolutely unapproachable, like, mission. Why did all of them have this, like, why did everyone have a tag for what seemed like a pretty reasonable job? This isn't the John Wick, buy your way out type mission. It was just something that he and IG-88 just managed to do, in 10 minutes.
I don't know. If you do remember, though, Nick Nolte said other people had come.
Maybe it was just such a bad reputation. Like,
yeah, it also could have been the whole you have to meet Werner Herzog to his face. And a lot of bounty hunters might have opted not to do it. So Werner Herzog gave out as many of the tags as he could. Yeah,
and they probably, maybe, I don't know. It didn't seem, the mission, the bounty didn't seem so insurmountable that nobody could have done it. I feel like that could have been translated to better.
Well, if you want the other way, is maybe the previous bounty hunters had functioned as like killbots, where they kept whittling away the Enclave.
Yeah, maybe.
And by this point, there are so few that Mando was able to just go in and finish it up.
Yeah. Is there anything else about the episode that we should discuss?
I don't really. Okay, one thing I don't know if I liked or not was Mando talking to himself at the end with the jetpack going, I gotta get one of those.
Yeah, you didn't like that? Well, he is more silent than...
Right. It felt like out of character, but also it's one of the times where he is by himself. Or I guess he's with Baby Yoda, who was trying... It looked like he was trying to drive the ship, which I really loved.
I love that little green puppet. So amazing.
I still think that this is going to end up being a crossover with Gremlins and Baby Yoda is going to be a Mogwai. Like, think about it. Gizmo is basically just Yoda. So as long as Baby Yoda never gets fed after midnight or gets wet, he'll be fine.
Yeah. So here's the question. Do we know yet what they are doing with Baby Yoda?
I think they're turning him into a bounty hunter.
No. What the Empire was trying to do.
Right. I don't know, because like according to that one dude, he saved him.
Yeah.
I have an idea, and I don't like it because it's one of my least favorite parts of the Star Wars lore.
The cloning.
No.
Oh, okay.
Midichlorians.
Taking the midichlorian. Oh.
Or doing some kind of science on the midichlorians. Yeah.
So apparently the symbol, one of the guys has like the Camino symbol. The Indian guy, not Werner Herzog. So it might be they're trying to get the DNA to clone. That's a possibility. I don't know if I like that either. I think there's so much cool stuff behind like lore of the Force that only like the extended universe, which no longer exists, like was really able to dig into. And I feel like they were trying to go that way after The Force Awakens, and The Last Jedi just did not care about it.
The Last Jedi is Ariel, when you were in elementary school and it would snow and you'd go out for recess, and you know how you'd build a snow fort or a snowman, and then another recess another group of kids would tear it down.
That's The Last Jedi to The Force Awakens. Yeah, because it is frustrating, because we talked about like the Jedi are basically, we know now, right? The Jedi system is incredibly flawed, and most of the time they're basically they're basically like some form of the crusading Catholic Church, and like the old biblical Pharisees, right? The hypocrites, like and then we know like the dark side of the Force is people who, just people like who abuse power. Nothing to really look into there. I really enjoyed like the theory was that Yoda was hiding on Dagobah because it's where like an old Sith Lord died.
God, I love that so much.
Right? Like, and so nobody could ever find could ever sense him, because the dark force was so strong in the area. And that's why Luke goes into the cave, because that's the source of the dark force power, whatever. Like, all that stuff to me is so cool. And there's something you can do here with Baby Yoda, and I don't quite know what it is yet. I really hope it's not just, we want to clone the baby and turn him like dark side. Like, that to me is the most boring outcome. But I think it's where they're going to go.
Right. Or, well, I mean, imagine extracting midichlorians and inserting them into stormtroopers.
We are getting Sith troopers, which I'm not too keen on in Rise of Skywalker. I think JJ.
I haven't seen any of the trailers, so
they're just red stormtroopers.
Oh, I mean, didn't we get those in the throne room?
Yeah, no, but they look like stormtroopers.
Okay.
They're just, their armor's red, and they call them Sith troopers, which I really don't like, because I feel like JJ is going to overcompensate, digging back into the lore of Star Wars, because Rian Johnson like moved so far away from it. I don't know.
Okay. Well, here's a question.
Go ahead.
By the end of this series, by the end of episode 8, do we get an interaction with somebody who's using a lightsaber?
I don't think so. I think lightsabers are a pure Jedi Sith function. They have nothing to do with the Force. I think the Jedi as an organization adopted them, and I think the Sith decided to adopt them as well as a perversion of that. So I don't think that's going to happen. I do think we'll get. I really love the what's his name? Donnie Yen's character from Rogue One. I really do.
I just know him as Ip Man.
Yeah. I really love the idea of like Force sensitive people who are bounty hunters, who are bodyguards, who are whatever, right? His name is Chirrut Umwe. Like I really like the idea of force sensitive people because they don't just disappear. Even though you exterminate the Jedi are not the end all be all of the force. And so I would really like for that to happen. Although, did you play what's the game that just came out?
No, the Fallen Order.
Fallen Order? No. Because
there's something there.
I've seen gameplay.
Yeah.
There are stormtroopers esque with like red lightsabers. Mm-hmm. And we do know that Jedi did survive the purge.
Now I wonder if we might get a Sith assassin of some sort.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But like I do want you to just kind of imagine the idea that at the end of this season, one of the last fights is Mando is, nursing Baby Yoda or whatever, in a rocking chair, and a black cloaked figure comes up, right? And Mando does not know how to beat this. He's somehow able to beat just a very weak, Sith, whatever. And that's the end. Is maybe we get some kind of Force lightning. Maybe we get a red lightsaber. We just get a nod, and Mando doesn't know what this is, and that's the end of the season.
Interesting, and it just sets up like a
right, because we know they've got season 2.
Yeah. I mean, it would be interesting. There's so much to do, and for once, I certainly believe now that Disney and Star Wars are willing to move past the Skywalker saga and just open up the world, and this story can branch one planet and a moon or 2 planets or something and be another micro story in this huge, incredible universe that this guy made up 40 years ago. But I really don't want it. I really don't want any mention of like Skywalkers or even like, I don't mind like tangential mentions of Vader because he is so immersed into the Empire, but he's not alive at this point.
Well, I actually have a question about Vader and his role in the Empire.
Sure.
Was he actually like known to be a figure in the Empire, or was he just kind of some mythical weapon that the Empire had?
No, so I've read a lot of the comic books, which at this point I believe are canon. Vader is like, so like you have the Emperor, right? Mm-hmm. Vader is the hammer.
Okay.
Like the Emperor is the one who wields it, of course, but like basically there are issues in that comic where like there's like armies fighting and like armies fighting against the Empire, and like Vader just walks in and handles it himself. It is so like it's so refreshing because it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch something like the scene in Rogue One, and then like watch David Prowse's Vader in A New Hope. Which I started watching today. I'm there are people who argue against me. He's not, and at least A New Hope, that's not a great physical performance. It's not a good one even. No. There's no weight, there's no intent, there's no sharpness to it.
No, I fully agree with you. Like that performance of Vader, it works for children because you don't know a lot about him. But once you realize that like his armor is supposed to be the same as a Mandalorian, like around that weight.
Yeah, there's no weight to his body movement. Like for I took martial arts for a really long time, and it was all about like being sharp and having weight and putting force behind your movements. And there's like none of it in like David Prowse's Vader in A New Hope. I haven't seen Empire in a long time. I'd like to rewatch it to see if it improves, and Return of the Jedi. But like compare it to the 80s and 90s with Arnold's Terminator. The very, very intentional, deliberate physical movement, and then compare it to even something like Sebastian Stan in Captain America, right? That one scene where he has that like it feels like it's swag, but in reality, like that dip he has on his left side because his arm weighs him down, like that doesn't exist in Vader. But I think it's okay in the Mandalorian. We're getting off topic, but I love Star Wars lore, and The Last Jedi, for all its positives, it essentially tells you like, don't care about the lore. Like, the lore is not important. It basically comes out and like spits in the face of the lore and says it doesn't matter. But it kind of does because we saved the books. In regards to the Mandalorian, is there any? What else can we think of here in regards to this particular episode?
Well, it's just whether or not Werner Herzog bothers coming back. And of course, Carl Weathers did survive, which I liked that. I liked that Carl Weathers went back to the ship and waited. I liked that Mando used the
carbon.
Yeah. Like, I liked all of that. That was great.
Yeah, me too. It showed that like Carl Weathers' character, what's his name here? Grief Karga is he's smart, he's cunning, he's not just he's not just a pretty face, so to speak. Interesting that in episode 3 we have yet to see Gina Carano's character Cara Dune, nor have we seen Ming-Na Wen's character Fennec Shand, who is an assassin. So 2 major actresses who we've yet to see.
Well, this week we are getting the Bryce Dallas Howard directed episode.
So in terms of direction, what did you think about the direction of this particular episode?
It was very much like I didn't feel so much the weight of the flashbacks.
That was my least favorite part, the flashbacks, but go on.
Yeah. The flashbacks seem kind of silly. Like I get the idea, it's the shared trauma. It's also him like relating back to where he came from. But it just doesn't work. Or it's just not nearly as interesting. It's like, okay, cool. We don't need to see this same thing over and over again.
Right, the third time in a row, like third episode in a row. It's like the Wayne's dying.
Yeah. And other than that, I really like just all of the direction. I think was all world, like it was all just normal, standard Star Wars. What we've got from before. I don't know how much directors are actually going to, no matter what Bryce Dallas Howard says, I don't know how much they're actually going to affect the feel of the episode.
Yeah. So I bring that up because Deborah Chow is the person in charge and will be directing all the episodes of the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series.
Yes.
I think the action in this episode is better than episode 1 of the series. I have to rewatch it. I'm probably gonna rewatch 1, 2, and 3 as we get into like the meat of the series. But I think the action's pretty good. I think the movement's pretty good, and I think that's really important. In terms of lightsaber battles for that Obi-Wan series, like I'm going to use the word disappointed with Kylo Ren and Rey's lightsaber like battle after, only in comparison to the prequel ones. But then it actually makes sense because like Kylo Ren was taught by no one, by a man in a chair who died like an idiot, and Rey was taught by nobody, while Obi-Wan and Anakin are like pure masters. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so they're novices. They're novices and compared to masters. And just like, Vader, who is this now older robotic man, and Luke, who's taught by nobody, that's why their fights aren't so great. So, but in the upcoming Obi-Wan series, like, we know what Ewan McGregor can do with a lightsaber, and
right. And I mean, who knows? It might cross over with the Mandalorian.
No, so Obi-Wan's dead by the time.
Oh yeah, I'm so used to everything taking place between episode 3 and 4.
Me too. Me too. I almost said that earlier. I would be interested in other Mandalorians appearing in the Obi-Wan series. Just a nice reminder that like Obi-Wan, like, because when you watch the Clone Wars, the Genndy Tartakovsky one, you know, you come away most impressed with probably Mace Windu, and then second is Obi-Wan. Remember that episode with Mace Windu where he just destroys the entire droid army by himself?
Well, also, you know, at this point, Obi-Wan is living in the dregs of society.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So him dealing with Mandalorians or dealing with, the kind of stuff that he dealt with earlier, you never find
scum and villainy. Yeah.
Right. I think he should be embedded in this stuff. So that'd be really great.
Yeah. All right. I think we could wrap it up here. What is any other like theories we have as to what's going to happen moving forward?
Well, they're going to have to move their living quarters.
Yeah. Yeah, he said, I love what is it? What is the phrase?
Like that is the way.
Yeah, it is the way or something. Yeah. So good.
Well, it says so much and it's like appropriately quick and precise for Mandalorians. Also we got the confirmation. They never take their helmets off and they never let anyone else take their helmets off. That is something that this show has not really mentioned.
Right. And it's so strange that Jango Fett is just so willing to do it in episode 2. He
kind of, I think he was an outcast at that point because he allowed himself to be cloned.
Okay, so I have a potential theory here.
All right, let's hear.
This is only after the genocide of the Mandalorians. Because in Clone Wars, it happens as well. They take their helmets off. It's not a big deal. I think this is a tradition that was put on. There are so few of us now. We must always represent who we are.
Plus, one of us just got their head cut off. So
yeah. Well, we all know. Like it's kind of unfortunate. It's kind of frustrating that like Jango Fett gets punked like that because he gets punked by the most potent lightsaber like duelist out there. If you read the novelization of Revenge of the Sith, the Emperor Palpatine is not losing that fight against Mace Windu on purpose. He is losing because like he's an older Sith Lord and Mace Windu is like prime of his life. I'm like, the rumors were that it was Yoda. It was always Yoda. It was then Dooku, then Mace. But like Dooku was an old man. And Palpatine's an old man, and Mace Windu is very clearly in that like Obi-Wan zone where it's just like I'm just a Jedi Master, and rankings change. But that's unfortunate seeing Jango Fett get punked.
Oh, also, I love the reference to the Twilight healing baths.
Yeah.
Like the smirk Carl Weathers delivers on that is just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's silly, but I liked it.
Yeah, I love the little things like noblemen skipping bail and calamari and the iRobot, the eye stalk coming out of the. Right, that was in episode 4 with episode 6 with Jabba, 6. Right?
Right, yeah. So that, and then him just coming and ripping it out, and then the stormtroopers coming out. Like, I don't know. I liked that, and they seem like they're like, huh, that's weird. Seems to be malfunctioning. Yeah.
So I'm reading up theories on the internet. Apparently, the armband on the Doctor is like a clone lab armband.
Okay. Oh, and last just appreciation when he is leaving the client's place with Baby Yoda. The way he moves around and actually like kind of goes up against the wall and you can see him, but people run past him. Like it felt very good. I don't know. It was just so intentional, and I just really liked that direction more than I think I liked the big fight at the end.
Yeah. There's so many little things. Who do we? Okay, I'm just reading theories online while you're speaking. I'm sorry. Who do we think will save the young Mandalorian in the flashback? I've seen Obi-Wan or Yoda, but I'm hoping it's a clone. So a lot of people think it's Obi-Wan who saves the young Mandalorian.
No. It's gonna be Fur Mandalorian, the blacksmith.
Maybe, yeah.
I would much rather it be a Mandalorian saving a child.
Yeah, and it speaks to his motivation more.
Yeah, and I mean, it can be a Jedi, but don't make it freaking Obi-Wan. Don't make it a named character.
They said it might be a clone, like a clone trooper, because he sees the Mandalore helmet or the facade of it.
Maybe, but who knows? You know what? It should be all members of NSYNC.
Okay, I think we need to get out of here.
What if they're the only Jedi left alive at this point?
Justin Timberlake is a Jedi. Do you think we get Boba Fett in the show?
No.
You think he's dead?
I don't think we get him this season.
I agree. I think you make this all about Mando and Baby Yoda, and like you introduce him as like a big bad for season 2, like a rogue Mandalorian. That
would be amazing. And then Baby Yoda force pushes him back into the Scarlet Pit.
Maybe I hope. I like the action we've got so far. I think it's pretty good. I really hope we get like an awesome duel from a worthy opponent.
Well, I think Ming-Na Wen, that would be the most appropriate one.
Yeah, she's playing an assassin, so perhaps that.
Yeah,
that is.
Maybe she's the Sith assassin that gets sent after Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I would really like that. It would be a really cool tie-in to Donnie Yen's character, right? Where she's not a Sith, but she's a Force-using assassin.
God, yeah, man. I love the... I don't know. This feels like so many of the Clone Wars episodes.
Yes,
that I would
that's
love that.
Exactly what it feels like. The music, too. I don't know if you've noticed.
Dude, yeah, the music is amazing.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of that, of a Genndy Tartakovsky show, whether it be Samurai Jack or Primal, and stuff like that. So let me look at them. Who's in charge of the music here? I don't know, but I think we're going in a good direction. Either the plot is they're trying to clone Baby Yoda and everyone's trying to kill the Mandalorian, or the plot goes in directions that I cannot foresee, and that those are both good things, right? Because one of them is a plot so simple that as long as you execute it well, like nobody cares what the plot is, and the other one means it's not like a dumb plot that I can just already like predict is going to happen, like I do with movies I usually sit down for and stuff.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah, like you said, this makes me excited for Star Wars again.
Yeah. I think we can wrap that up. And like, just considering we've talked for 30 minutes
on a 40-minute episode. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap it up. Ariel, plug your pluggables.
All right. Well, Andy, where can people find you?
You can find me online on Twitter at Hebrews Pale Ale, and you can also find me on Letterboxd at Hebrews Pale Ale.
All right, you can find me at Dread Pirate Roddy. You can find us at Geek 101 Podcast on Twitter and Facebook and Patreon. Email us geek101pod@gmail.com. That's what we have for today. Class dismissed.